Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Scott McCullough, and welcome to Special Talk. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dodi Mitchell, a coach with Nashua Special Olympics and a local program coordinator. Dodi, could you tell us something about Nashua Special Olympics?
I'd love to tell you something about Nashua Special Olympics. Nashua Special Olympics is a local program under the Special Olympics New Hampshire umbrella. And our local program in Nashua has been in effect for around 23 years. It started as a very, very small program with just a handful of volunteers and athletes. You were one of them, I remember, and so was I. And over the years has grown to serving over 100 athletes with special needs and their families. The mission of our program is the same as the Special Olympics New Hampshire mission, which is to provide competitive sports training and competitive opportunities for people with developmental challenges. Our program is totally supported by volunteerism, and all of the coaches and the partners and all of the people who do the work to support Nashua Special Olympics is volunteer-based. And we offer many, many sports activities. Throughout the year, we offer sports training. And it's really great sports training. I mean, all of the coaches have gone to coach school to make sure that they know how to coach the sports that they're coaching. We offer basketball and softball and bowling, floor hockey, track and field, swimming. We offer skiing, not only alpine downhill skiing, but also cross-country skiing and snowshoeing. We offer volleyball and cycling, and we also offer social activities. In addition to sports training, in our local program, we do a lot of social activities. So we do movie nights, and we do going out to dinners and going to shows and going to wrestling and a lot of things that you've been involved in. Our mission is really to help people with developmental disabilities find their strength and find their character and find out what it's like to be a team member and to help you reach your goals. So that's Nashua Special Olympics.
How does Nashua Special Olympics get the funding how does Nashua Special Olympics get the funding to keep the program going?
That's a really good question. Because we're volunteer-based, and because we're a nonprofit organization, all of our funding comes from donations and fundraising. We are fortunate enough to have a lot of dedicated people in the community that donate to us, and we do two big main fundraisers every year to make sure that we have the funds that we need for uniforms, for equipment, for facilities. We often have to rent facilities. Some organizations allow us to use their facilities free of charge, but and also there are costs associated with going to tournaments, overnight stays, going to national games, because not only does Special Olympics happen at a state level and a local level, but it happens at a national level and even international games. So we have to have the monies to support these types of activities, and we do it in one of two ways. One way, which was just last month, actually was in the beginning of this month on Super Bowl Sunday, is the Penguin Plunge.
Yes.
And on the Penguin Plunge, as you well know, because you did it this year, you're sporting the jacket to prove it. The Penguin Plunge every year, we have hundreds of people jump into the Atlantic Ocean on Super Bowl Sunday, which is in February.
And very cold.
And very cold. And the money that everybody raises for that amount goes to local programs and to the state to support Special Olympics activities. So that's a really, really big fundraiser. And this year, so many people across the state worked very hard to fundraise, and we raised over $688,000 in the state of New Hampshire to fund
Whoa.
all the many programs. And when you think about it, there's a lot of athletes participating in the state of New Hampshire. This coming weekend is the Winter Games competitions, state Winter Games competitions up at Waterville Valley.
Yes, it is.
And there'll be over 2,000 participants there, all there because of the hard work, the volunteerism, the athletes' hard work in training, and the fundraising that we're able to do. So Penguin Plunge is a really important fundraiser. And we also have a local program fundraiser that we do every year in the late summer. It's actually the second weekend in September. We always run this, and it's our Pelham Old Home Day 5K race, which is a race, a run and a walk. And as a matter of fact, these shots right here are shots of just this last year's Pelham 5K. There you are. You're running right there.
Yes, I am.
And there's a lot of Nashua Special Olympians here featured. And it's run in Pelham because Pelham is nice enough to let us use their race course. Nashua Special Olympics opens their doors to lots of different towns in the area. So not only do we have athletes who participate from Nashua, but also from Hudson and from Hollis and Brookline and Pelham and Bedford. So we're a community, not just for Nashua City, but also for surrounding communities. So Pelham works with us so that we can do fundraising because Pelham does not have their own separate Special Olympics program, and their athletes join with us here in Nashua. So in September, we have this program, and everybody goes out and does fundraising, and we have a fantastic race that's timed. It's an official timed race, and last year we had over 350 runners and walkers, and we raised over $18,000 for our local program, which is fantastic.
Oh, yes, it is.
It takes about $24,000 a year just to run Nashua Special Olympics, to be able to afford the fees associated with going to Winter Games, going to Summer Games, going to the basketball tournament, going to the Fall Games. So, and then to outfit all of our different teams. We take pride in having great uniforms and great equipment for all of our teams. So the fundraising we do at the Pelham 5K in September and at the Penguin Plunge in February are really integral to keeping our program floating. We serve populations that start at 8 years old and can participate until whenever, 99, 100 if you make it that far. So there's a wide range of people participating in Special Olympics. So we have many teams. We have teams that are made up of very young kids. We have a young athletes program, which reaches out to the community in an early intervention way. And our young athletes program begins at 2 years old and goes from 2 years old till 7 years old. So we have really little kids that are learning what it's like to participate in a group and to play ball and to become a young team member. And then when they're 8, then they can join Nashua Special Olympics in the regular group. And we have teams, we have junior varsity teams and all the way up for every sport. We have junior bowling teams and senior bowling teams. We have junior basketball teams and senior basketball teams, so that we keep athletes participating with generally kids in their own age group, and then young adults participating with other young adults. And, so it's socially a good deal and a lot of fun. We also have different age ranges for our volunteers. We have young people as young as 8 years old volunteering in what we call a partner program. Nashua Special Olympics uses the unified partner system wherever possible with all of our sports. So what that means is that we have teams that are constructed that are people with developmental challenges and people without developmental challenges working together as teammates on a team. And an example is, and you're on this team, our basketball team.
Yes.
And on our basketball team, we have young adults who have developmental challenges, and we have young adults who do not. And you play together on the same team. And so those are called unified partners. And that's one way that people can get involved. Another way that people can get involved is to become volunteers for sports that don't use the unified concept, like to volunteer for our swim team and actually get in the water and help athletes who are just beginning to swim, help them be safe in the water. So that's volunteers, or volunteers who can work with our track and field team and be at the different stations of track and field and assist athletes with learning how to do hurdles or high jumps or long jumps or any of the things, softball throws or discus throws, right? All the things that we do in,
Yes.
all the different races and stuff. So along with unified partners that we need to be team members, we also need volunteers who can be on the fields, who can be at the bowling tournaments and helping out, who can be at skiing. We have a one-on-one ratio for every member of our ski team, so that each person that's on the mountain is getting one-on-one instruction each time they ski. And also when we go up to the Winter Games, each athlete has someone with them the whole time so that they can ski safe and just keep learning and keep growing as an athlete. And by the way, on our ski team, we have everybody from beginners, really first-time skiers, to people that are young people with developmental challenges who are expert skiers, who ski double black diamonds and who are able to do NASTAR courses at record speed. So we really have a great talent in our Special Olympics teams. So
how can someone, an athlete or volunteer, get involved in Nashua Special Olympics?
Well, two great ways to get involved are to visit our website, NashuaSpecialOlympics.org. And you spelled it all out, NashuaSpecialOlympics.org. And on that website, you can register on the website, and you can find out what's happening in our local community. We have a calendar, and we have a constant update on the different sports that are going on. And on that website, you can also contact me, the local program coordinator, Dodi Mitchell, or any of the head coaches for any of the sports, skiing, basketball, swimming, volleyball. You can find us all on that website, and you can ask us how you can get involved. You can also go to the state's website, which is SONH.org,
Yes.
SpecialOlympicsNewHampshire.org, and on there go to the volunteer section, and there you will find appropriate forms to fill out and a way to contact the state to let them know that you would like to volunteer. Volunteer opportunities exist at the local level and at the state level. They exist as being a team member. being a volunteer supporter, being a coach or an assistant coach, and also volunteering for events like regional events and state events. We need lots of volunteers, not just to play sports. So if you feel like you're really not much in the sports arena, but you want to help out, there's lots of ways to help out. To make an event possible at the regional or state level, we need people who are willing to do lots of jobs, passing out ribbons and getting things organized and doing meals and doing setup and doing cleanup and doing the AV stuff and all kinds of stuff. So we need lots and lots of volunteers. We are always looking for volunteers. And Nashua Special Olympics is especially looking for volunteers in the local area. Right? So, and maybe after the break, we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be taking a break right now, and I'll be right back after the break.
Okay.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours, 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice, 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism, 1 in 110. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back from the break. My name is Scott McCullough, and my guest at this time is Dodi Mitchell. Welcome back to Special Talk. And Dodi Mitchell is a coach for Nashua Special Olympics and a basketball coach also.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. So we were talking about all the opportunities of Special Olympics and Nashua Special Olympics, and I think that the sports opportunities are they help people with developmental challenges become stronger, more coordinated, team players, but they also help in other ways, as I'm sure you've experienced, and maybe you want to say something about that.
As they've changed my life. I've been through a lot, and I love winning gold. Hopefully we'll win the gold again. Hopefully. I think we will, because if we smile and work as a team effort, that's how we work as a team. We work as a team effort, and we're taught how to basically do our defense, get our defense down, make sure you know where your player is at all times. Even if you chuck the ball, mistakenly chuck it to the wrong person, it can't replay, you can't repeat it. You got to get it down packed.
So, so you're always learning, you're always improving as a teammate. Another program that I think is really great in Special Olympics at the state level, of which several people in Nashua participate, including yourself, is the Global Messengers program, which is now part of the Athlete Leadership program.
Yes, it is.
But it originally started as Global Messengers, which is a group that helps people who are 18 and over become formidable public speakers. And you were one of our first Global Messengers.
Yes, I was. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm a Special Olympics athlete, a board member, and a producer of Special Talk also. I'm also a board member on the State of New Hampshire Special Olympics State of New Hampshire Special Olympics Board of Directors.
Yes.
And I'm also I also do global messenger. And if you want me to come out and talk to your group, you just got to contact sonh.org or contact them 1-800-639-2608. Let them know you'd like Scott McCullough to come out and talk to your group about Special Olympics. I've already done several interviews with WOKQ. I just did one on Valentine's Day with 1590 with Mike, I forget his last name now, Bonacue, and he's very polite, and we did a radio interview about Special Olympics and about my program, and I greatly appreciate if anybody is out there who wants to sponsor Special Talk, please feel free to contact Access Nashua to get some sponsorship, or I'll give them my home email and they can give you that instead. I love being a Gulf messenger, and I'm going to be a little bit sad stepping down from the board of directors next year. I got to step down, ladies and gentlemen, because my 3-year term will be up after that. But I've enjoyed being on the board of directors, and I've learned a lot from my board members, and I love it, and it's going to be experience that this step down, but I got to let another athlete another athlete experience experience what being on a board of directors is like.
You know, and I think that you're really a perfect example of how you start out in Special Olympics. I think you were 10 or 12.
Yes.
And you begin by just playing sports. You know, that's how it starts. You learn how to handle a basketball. You learn how to bounce a ball. You learn how to hit a softball. You learn how to swim, whatever it is. And while you're doing that, you learn how to become a team member. And while you're doing that, you learn how to interact socially in ways that sometimes people with developmental challenges don't get the opportunity to do.
Yes, they do.
Because our communities tend to be smaller. And so you're learning all this stuff. It's all under the umbrella of sports training with Special Olympics, but it's so much more. And then as you grow up, your friends in this Special Olympics are growing up. And together, you continue to have this really tight community of people, because I know that not only do you play on the same basketball team or bowl on the same team or play on the same softball team, but you guys go out. You go out when you're not doing anything that looks like Special Olympics, and you have a community of friends. And this is because you had this organization to connect you to other people. So, and I think your global messenger training, I mean, I'm listening to you talk to your audience and realizing that, you know, you're well equipped to talk to any group that would like you to come out. And I think also it equips, you know, the global messenger training and all of the social skills that we learn as we grow up in Special Olympics, equips us to go out in the community, to find jobs, to be successful at those jobs. The statistics show that people with developmental challenges who are not afforded the opportunity to have the social learning environment of Special Olympics, when they go out and get a job, their ability to keep that job is reduced, and something like 15 to 20% of those folks are not able, or are only 15 or 20% retain those jobs. But they've shown that people who have developmental disabilities who are able to participate for a length of time in an organized activity like Special Olympics, where it's not only physical but it's social and it's intellectual, over 50% of those people are able to keep and retain the jobs, and that number's growing. So I think that even though we say it's a sports program, it is so much more.
Oh, yes.
Your experience, I know that you have a job in the community that's
yes, I do.
That's pretty important. How do you think that? I mean, how did that connect to your experience in Special
Basically,
Olympics?
it's basically a job that I love, that I'm glad I'm hired at the Holiday Inn in Nashua, and it's the best job ever. And they hired me because I went in and asked if I could. I asked if I asked if Antonio was in there, and they said no. And I went in again, and I was looking around for a job, and I've been there 4 years, ladies and gentlemen, and I just recently just passed my room service test. Hopefully, sometime down the road, when it starts getting busier down there, then I'll be able to do some room service orders on the phone with the guest and showing them to make sure room service is on time, always on time, no excuse. If it's not there, it's free, but not on my clock. It's not gonna be. It's gonna be on time, and I'm gonna make sure room service is a good enough experience for me, because a room service test meant a lot to me. At least I'm so glad I'm hired at the hall. I'm so glad still at the Holiday Inn. I've been there 4 years. 4 years now, since 2011. I actually just celebrated 4 years at there for 2011. I've been there 4 years from 2011, actually.
So I think Special Olympics it's a far-reaching program. It was begun
By Miss Kennedy Shriver.
by Eunice Kennedy Shriver
Hopefully people
in the 60s.
Yep, 1968.
Eight.
And hopefully people will go to their elected officials. Please, go to your elected officials, ladies and gentlemen. Please, we need the Kennedy Shriver bill passed this year. Please, call your elected officials. Call your elected officials in Washington and tell them the Kennedy Shriver bill, please, we need it passed in the U.S. Senate. Please, if anybody sees this on YouTube or anything, please call either Kelly Ayotte or Frank Gitta or Gene Shaheen. Gene Shaheen actually has a Special Olympics nephew who's still in Special Olympics, I believe.
So the Eunice Kennedy Shriver bill is a bill that helps to bring some support to Special Olympics all across the country.
Yes.
So it's a good thing to support, and it almost passed, but not quite. So we're still working on that. So I encourage everybody to take a look at Special Olympics and ask yourself, how can you get involved? If you're an athlete out there that wants a shot at just seeing what you can do, seeing what how far you can reach in your sports. If you're the family of somebody who has developmental challenges, who is looking for a community for your child or your young adult or your adult.
Oh, yes.
We don't have to be young. And for support, too, because not only does Special Olympics support the athletes who are involved, but families find support, too. We are able to support each other as our children grow and find out more and more about their own abilities and capabilities. So I encourage you, whether you are a person with developmental challenges, a family or a family member or a friend of someone with developmental challenges, someone who would like to get involved as a volunteer at any level, whether it's to play a sport, to help out with events and activities, to coach a sport. We need help even for people who are good at computers, good at marketing, good at being a chief cook and bottle washer, whatever we need,
Yes.
We need people to dig in and help. If you are an organization that has facilities to offer Nashua Special Olympics. We're always looking for gym space. We're always looking for track and field space. We're always looking for places for our teams to practice. So please get involved. You may contact me via our website, Dodi Mitchell, the local program coordinator, via NashuaSpecialOlympics.org. You go on there and find me and send me an email. And I'd love to hear from you. And we would love the opportunity to come speak to your organization. We have several global messengers, Scott McCullough.
Yes.
And your
Scott
teammates.
Justison, Ben Damaris.
Isaac Hardigan.
And Isaac Hardigan. And if you want to go to NashuaSpecialOlympics.org to register, to contact Coach Dodi Mitchell, our local program coordinator, if you're interested in giving us space for track and field or basketball or any time to come out and show you, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to come out, or if you want us to come out as a basketball team to show you, like we'd love to have the high school down the street from us. Love to actually have Nashua High maybe let Nashua Special Olympics play on their basketball court sometime and show the college, show the high school that opportunities are out there. Please go to NashuaSpecialOlympics.org. Please register at that, and you can get our emails. You get emails from Nashua Special Olympics. You get opportunities to meet other new athletes, new opportunities. I've met several and I've met a lot of new people. I should have had a co-host today, but I guess they say stuff happened. At least hopefully next time I'll have a co-host. But
I think you've done fabulous all by yourself.
Yes, and hopefully people visit NashuaSpecialOlympics.org. Please register. We need volunteers. If you're willing to volunteer, or if you want to come out to a basketball practice, for example, there's one March 2nd, I believe, at Nashua Community College from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. You're always welcome to come out and join us or volunteer or play. Please come out to support Special Olympics, Nashua Special Olympics. Thank you for joining me on Special Talk. Have a nice day.